Check out Night Dream's website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com.
Hey, this is Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio. I want to welcome a new sponsor to our show, PhoenixShaving.com. I know what you're thinking, right? Oh, another disposable razor company. Well, the fact is they're not. You remember the razors that your father and his father shaved with? Did you ever notice they didn't have, well, the embarrassing razor burn or ingrowing hairs or the razor bumps after they shaved? Did you notice they were also relaxed after they were done shaving? Well, the problem is these big corporations want to sell you razor after razor after razor. Think about how much money you spend a year on razors. Or do you use electric razor? Then you're going to find out what razor burn is. So you need to check out Phoenix Shaving Starter Kits. They come complete with the soap, the brush, and a 2.5-month supply of blades. And the most important part of it, an all-metal razor, built to last generations. So, hey, you can donate it to one of your sons when they turn 18. Check out PhoenixShaving.com and tell them that Gary from Night Dream said, hey, I want one. That's PhoenixShaving.com now.
You're listening to Night Dreams Radio with Gary Anderson.
And here I am. Beautiful weather here again in Gig Harbor, Washington. Boy, it is actually even hot. And in my studio, I'm pushing about 103 degrees right now. I just looked at the thermometer, and that's only because I got all this equipment in here. I got 2 servers. I got all this, mic preamps, all this equipment on a 8-foot high rack, and I tell you, it generates a lot of heat. So, maybe this winter I won't even have to turn the heat on at all in the whole place. I'll just heat it from my studio with the equipment. I'll just leave it on 24/7. I'll heat the whole facility. Hey, Sharon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, how's your evening going?
It's good. I kind of transitioned from the work day to a little swim in the pool, and it chilled me out.
Oh, wow. A pool. Well, you don't need to heat a pool this time of year, though.
No, I'm one of those people that does polar bear dips, so I like cold water, actually.
Oh, wow. When I was young, I used to do that. My parents, we used to go camping. We go up the mountains, and, I just love that cold water. But, at my age now, I like everything warm. Not 103 degrees, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think we all agree on that one.
So, why don't you tell everybody what you do, and well, I will cheat. She writes great novels, so I'll let her say everything else.
It might be quicker if I just say what I don't do. I have my hand in a lot of things. I'm probably best known by the public for running the blog Ghost Hunting Theories. And it is the #1 ghost hunting blog in the world, and the #8 paranormal blog in the world. So I'm very proud that I have that status. And to back that up, I do research in a lot of different arenas. Everything from UFOs and aliens to ghosts, Bigfoot, ancient giants, ancient mysteries, psychic skills. It's a very Kolchak kind of existence. And since I love to share information, I've written a lot of books to try to help the public understand even deeper some of the things that I cover on the blog.
Oh, wow. And if I remember right, you were in, the oil rig business or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
My day job is selling oil and gas equipment and rigs.
How do you get the time to do it? I have a hard enough time getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I go to bed about 1 or 2. I get up at 5, take my daughter to her work at the hospital. Then I come back and book guests for the show the rest of the day. And I am wore out come about this time.
It probably helps that I'm divorced and I don't have a social life.
Yeah,
I keep myself available. I tell you, I can get calls in the middle of the night from researchers or expeditions that I'm helping to guide. I never quite know what's going to happen. I could be getting a call in the morning from, the Middle East, somebody needing an oil rig. So it's all over the place. I've just added to my plate recently. I'm working on production of a movie based on a real life series that's on my blog called Stalker Between the Worlds.
Oh, wow. Now I actually see why you don't date. You don't have time.
I'm sort of making up for lost time. I was in a 31-year relationship, 26 years of marriage. And after I left that, I just sprinted like a horse, right out of the gate. I wanted to do everything I never did. And I thought, hey, I wonder if I can publish a book. So I published a book. Well, I didn't just publish one. I kept publishing. Then I just kept setting new goals for myself and trying to find the limits of what I'm capable of.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and you're very popular, too, on these books. When I had you on before, I did a lot of research. And, I mean, I mentioned your name, and, oh, yeah, I got one of her books. And wow. You've done the opposite of the majority of women. A lot of women, when they've been into a long marriage, they're married again in 3 to 6 months. So, I mean...
I had friends that left their relationships at the same time I did, and they waited till they had someone on the side, and then they just transferred to them. And I spent, it was a very controlling, very OCD kind of a situation. So getting out of that and having freedom, and I have boundless energy. There's so many things I wanted to do that I was held back, since I was 16. I couldn't do what I'm capable of. So I just took it and ran. I was like, yay, I'm free.
Well, I take it then you must have got married at 16?
No, I started dating him at 16.
Okay.
5 years later, I married him. Yeah.
Okay, well, you were young. Maybe that experience you had of the marriage and all that stuff, and then wanting to, enjoying your freedom, especially if I hate to say it, some people get trapped in a marriage. And
when you're young, I don't think you realize how much you change as you age and how you go to separate goals. And you may not be compatible at all when you're young, but you're just happy somebody wants you.
Well, you know what? I've been married. I was married the first time. It lasted 2.5 years. Then I married again. That lasted 6 months. Then we got remarried again. That lasted 2 days. I went up to my attorney and said, get it annulled, please. She didn't change. And my current wife, going on 42 years. And
Yay!
But you know what? We are totally opposite of each other. I mean, totally. I mean,
wow.
But you know what? We developed a really good friendship. And you know what I learned from being married 3 times before this one? Mm-hmm. I learned a lot of people when they get married, especially men, are really controlling. They want the opposite, to give up their wants, their desires, and their dreams, and they want them to be what they want.
Well, they want a mommy, really.
Yeah.
Cook for me, take care of my house.
Yeah.
You're basically putting on the apron and taking over for mom.
Yeah, make me cookies on Friday night. Yes. Well, you know what? It doesn't work. And then you have the spouse developing a lot of deep resentment. A lot.
Oh, yeah. They always say if you control somebody, eventually they'll rebel. And it is so very true. My ex he didn't believe in anything paranormal. He didn't believe in psychics, even though he had seen my skills. He didn't want me to ever talk to anyone or tell anyone what I do in research and what I'm interested in. Just pretty much everything about me was wrong. And so now it's, the first night out of that in my own place, I was sort of like, wow, I get to watch horror movies. I can talk about being a psychic. I can work my skills. I can grow my blog,
Oh, wow. So, we got a pack. My wife works all day long. She has to commute 90 miles each way to go to work. Wow. She gets up and she leaves the house at 5 o'clock in the morning. She's still not home. It's 10 minutes after 8 right now. She works for a very huge computer company, making sure the computers work for executives. And you know what I find? When she comes home, she goes to the big TV in the front room. She watches the Food Network.
Uh-huh.
I hate the Food Network, okay?
It's female sports, basically.
Yeah. And then she gets her little cell phone out and plays some game at the same time as she's watching, making cakes and making all this weird stuff every night. I go into the bedroom. I kick the dog off the other side of the bed so it's on the other side. This is right after I do my show for about an hour or two. Then I have to come back and then start, answering emails and texts. But you know what? I turn it on either to the Sci-Fi Channel or the other one that shows like horror movies, sci-fi movies that are, so bad that they're good.
Oh, yeah, I know those ones. Yeah.
But I enjoy them. I sit there and I just eat them up. And, it works really good. And then sometimes when I do go to bed, and sometimes my wife is there already, and she's watching watching, the cook shows on the TV in the bedroom. I go back to the front room and I turn it on Sci-Fi there. I'm happy to be anywhere in the house, as long as I'm in the house.
Mm-hmm. You sound like the family dog.
Well, sometimes
I'll
I feel
move around.
Yeah, but but we got to,
That's good. I mean, obviously, you guys have a rhythm going there that is so rare, and to last that long, it's amazing.
Oh yeah, and it's funny. I went to a psychic before I married her, and she was right on. She goes, "Don't get married. It's not going to work." And it's like he said, "Hey, after the sex wears off, you're not going to have nothing in common." And I said, "Hey, what sex?" right off the bat. But you know what? It turned out it really did, because I let her do what she wanted to do in life. Mm-hmm. I never held her back. She let me do what I wanted to do in life, and it worked out.
Oh, that's the goal.
And no jealousy. None,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I'm happy with how, she's excelled with the various jobs she's had all these years. And I think she's amazed I've done what I've done in all these years, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
Now, how many books are you up to now that you have written?
I have not counted. It might be a couple dozen.
Oh, wow.
I had a lot to say.
Yeah. I got to ask you a question. I had a guest on this show, and I'm not going to mention who it was. It was a couple months back. They kind of led me on. They have an agent. The agent actually led me on. They said, "Hey, this person is a real good author and, wrote this really good book on vampires." Mm-hmm. I get him on the show, and he doesn't want to talk about his book at all. And I said, "Well, aren't you here to talk about your book?" And he goes, "Well, I don't want to say anything because then nobody will buy it." Well, I said, it's vampires and like Walking Dead and all that stuff. So I'm sitting here for 2 hours talking about The Walking Dead, all the, all those type of movies, from going back from the 60s, those type of movies, to keep it going for 2 hours. And I'm entertaining him. And finally, I said, I got to ask you a question. How many books have you sold? And first I asked him before that, I said, "When did your book come out?" And it's been at Amazon for almost a year. And I said, "Okay, how many books did you sell?" Just out of curiosity. And he goes, "I haven't sold any yet."
And he has an agent.
He has an agent or a friend that's an agent. Then I didn't even realize it.